Working on the 528 today. You can notice our quick attach plate here has broken all the way around. We tried to do a patch weld to get us through a job and it just sheared right through that weld. I'm gonna walk you through step by step, removal and install. All right, so we got the quick attach plate off of there. I didn't waste the time to video that. I wasn't sure how long it was gonna take me, but all I did was on the front side of this, you got this plate right here that's got 4 bolts in it. I took that off. Be careful with this separating, that'll twist, maybe pinch your finger up here on this crack or something. Second thing I did was I took this actuator off the back and got it out of the way. Getting the actuator off, and then this is what the actuator pushes up and down. You can see it's got the hole on both ends. These Carter pins are what go in here where your locking pins are at. And so that bar just runs across the full length at the front of that. So when you take that bar out, those 2 pieces will move independently. And you can see I've got a table set up here. I just kind of set it down close to the table so that I had some support there, so I wasn't trying to hold that piece. I think this thing weighs about 60 pounds. And 17 millimeter bolt on this side here, which unlocks your pin. And these pins just slide in and out. They might be a little bit frozen, so I just took a dowel rod and a small hammer, pounded them out. You got 2 on the other side, you can see right there. I'm gonna take a minute now and clean up these bushings on all 3 of these pivot points, make sure all those are good before we put this thing back together. That previous photo, you guys can see we've got a little bit of wear on those pins. And again, that's the 3 pins that come in the sides here, 1, 2, 3. The bushings look pretty good. We're gonna go ahead and get a set of pins for this and replace them. We need to get this back into service, so I'm gonna go ahead and reassemble it. I will tell you that that plate was about $1,300 by itself, and the hardware kit, which I'm assuming included all the bolts, the pins, this actuator, these springs, rods, all of that, that was another $700. And I really wanted to take this apart, see what we needed before we bought the entire kit, because you can buy those pieces one-off. So we got everything cleaned up, reinstalled, the actuators on. So what we're gonna do now is take the compression off of these springs, pound out these pins at the bottom here, and work each one of these out and get them back in the new one. I will say on these pin removals, this would have probably been easier if I'd left it on the machine, but I got a bench vise here. In that previous photo, you can see this spring was down in here, and you can use a piece of metal. I just happen to use chisels, and I buried one on each side to hold the tension on that spring back off of that pin. And I was gonna try to pound that pin all the way through because there's enough room in that hole down there to push it out the backside, but as soon as I hammered it, it snapped off both sides. So I was able to get the pin shoved forward here. I will tell you, this pin will not come out the top side back here. You gotta shift it as far as you can, pull your spring out, and then the pin slides all the way out of the bottom right here. So if you break those off, you're gonna have to grind those down smooth so that it'll fit out of this hole right here. So we got everything reinstalled, got the plates put back on here. Just make sure on these screws, I noticed a few had fallen out on us over the years and I didn't catch that. I was able to pick some of these up at a local hardware store. I don't think there'll be an issue. I don't think you have to spend the money to get them from Avant. I did take the time to put some blue Loctite on them. Hopefully they won't fall out as easily now. I did pack both of these full of grease on each side where the springs are in there, just to kind of keep those from breaking down and rusting a little faster. Make those pins slide up and down a little quicker. And then just double check your torque specs on all your bolts there, and you should be good to go. Total time, about 3 hours start to finish, kind of taking my time cleaning everything, reassembling, and then I had to run and get new pins, so it's not a terrible job.